right, the magic of the internet. We added a chair and a person. We have the Locals CEO, Assaf Lev, who also happens to be my brother-in-law, and a new Floridian, a new Miamian, a new American. Pretty good, not bad for a year.
Not bad.
And the three of us sat down. It's about 15, 16 months ago, and we had this startup. And basically, you said to us, guys, come here. Just
give me a break.
Just make it happen. And now we've moved two companies to Florida. Obviously, Locals here in Miami and Rumbles in Sarasota. And well, I guess I'll start with you. It's been pretty sweet here in this Miami, huh?
I don't think it could have been better. I mean, I think we had quite an exciting year since we sat with you in Cafecito Talk just about a year ago. So we had a lot, right? So personally, I think I mentioned it last time, I moved a few days before we did the Cafecito Talk with you. And now I have a baby that was born here in Miami. So he's a native Miamian, I guess, yes. And a lot of things happened to us. So from a company perspective, after we talked, we saw like a great growth that happened to us.
The Miami Magic.
The Miami Magic definitely happened to us. And at the end of 2021, we decided to also merge with a company called Rumble.
Yes.
Which is a video hosting and cloud platform that align with our ideology. And we started to work together and we started to grow even more. And to get to the last month, we actually went to New York and we rang the bell together with Rumble in NASDAQ.
I like that.
Which was quite
I already knew.
Yeah. That's bad.
So
that's a lot of fun, by the way. I've done it
It's
before.
really fun. I have to say that was quite an experience for us, huh?
Wait, what's the mayor ringing a bell for?
For the Miami Miracle. They actually NASDAQ. Let me tell you something about NASDAQ. I love NASDAQ. Other than the fact that they're not in Miami, I love everything else about them. But they're actually very, very proactive, and obviously support a lot of content and tech companies. And they obviously knew what's going on, and they've supported some of our initiatives here when we've had Tech Month and all that stuff. And so they invited me up and they said, "Hey, the Miami mayor's got to ring the bell. You know what I mean? You got to talk about this story." So it was pretty cool.
What are some of the things that you're doing when companies, either small tech companies, big tech companies, just forget tech. When companies move here, what are some of the things that you do to make it friendly for them? Well, we talked about low taxes.
Yeah, and we talked about rolling out the red carpet in the sense that the attitude was different, right? We want people to come here. We want them to succeed. We believe that's fundamentally American, right? So that's the B part, right? Is what's our attitude? I think the C part is substantive, right? Like, so we did some guerrilla marketing. I put a billboard outside of Google and it looked like a tweet that said, thinking of moving to Miami, DM me, right? And of course I got thousands of DMs of people, Californians, all the Google employees. But we did something. I said, I've got to create an office in our city government to be able to deal with this incoming, right? So I created something called Venture Miami. And Venture Miami is essentially, it was originally grant funded by all the universities and everybody got involved. We want to give people concierge service when they come here. We want to make sure that everything from getting a driver's license to getting a permit, anything that they need to do, finding connecting with the real estate community to make sure that they can find a home, as you've said. We want to make things as easy as possible to onboard a company. And then we want to connect them with funders. We want to connect them with employee pipelines. We've done multiple sort of employee fairs, job fairs. So that's sort of the taking government to the next step and being a facilitator. My view of government is it should be limited. And it should never take $1 more than it needs. But in its limited capacity, it should facilitate the growth of the private sector, right? And not get in the way. Oftentimes government's telling you no, or we can't do this. And I often told my people, we're the government of yes. So that's what we do.
What else should we ask this guy for? I mean, here we are in Miami. He wants to
whatever
help.
It is.
We're hiring. We got a lot going on.
We are
here.
definitely hiring. And I have to say, being part of the ecosystem here in Miami, I feel like there is a tech ecosystem that is being built. And we talked about it a year ago. And we start to see that more and more great people are coming here. We have some great creators that moved to Miami. And I think we mentioned it last time, we are dedicated to create Miami a hub for creators.
I love that.
And we want to develop more and more platforms, and that's why we are sitting here in this beautiful studio, which we opened in Wynwood just recently. Wasn't easy for us to get a spot here, by the way. It wasn't easy. We are very happy.
A lot of demand.
A lot of demand. But we open it in order to provide resources so we can help the city of Miami to attract more creators to come here. And we want to develop more events and basically to provide more resource for creators to succeed and keep being independent. And I think that Miami and Florida as a whole stand for freedom, and that's the reason why we and Rumble that are on the west coast of Florida chose this state and this great city of Miami to build our venture here.
Well, first of all, I don't think you could have picked a better location, because there isn't a neighborhood, in my opinion, in the United States, and arguably one of the best ones in the world, where there's more concentration of creativity.
Yeah, you can
right?
feel it.
You can feel it.
Yes.
Look at the walls of the buildings.
Exactly. And then the second thing is we did something really cool, again, in this whole idea of government is not the solver of problems, but government can help when the private sector leverages, right? So we did a scholarship program where the city only put $500,000, the private sector put $5.5 million, so 11-to-1 leverage rate, right? And that scholarship fund, which was a Venture Miami Scholarship Fund, was every child in Miami, every single one, who is from a FAFSA perspective, a Pell Grant recipient, so the neediest kids in our community, who wants to get a STEM degree, University of Miami, FIU, Florida Memorial, or Miami-Dade College, goes to college for free. Now, this is not about college debt or waiving college debt. No, these are about people who have a Pell Grant, right? They're getting some level of government help, and we're the gap funder of this. But we need STEM creators, people that understand science, technology, math, right? And also the creative economy, like you're talking about. And the beauty of it is, you don't even need to really have a college degree, as we were talking offline. Some of the most successful people in my organization are people that are young, that they just understand this stuff in ways that we could never fully grasp.
Yeah.
What do you, if you had a wish list of what the companies that are coming here could bring beyond successful companies? I mean, is there anything else that you want them to do in terms of the community, that sort of thing?
Well, look, I think find ways to create impact. Right. Obviously, I believe that the future economy is going to be creator economy. I believe that it's going to be experiential, and I believe that it's going to be technological. So we're going all in on crypto. We're going all in on the creative economy. We're going all in on artificial intelligence, quantum computing, virtual reality, cybersecurity. I mean, this is going to define the future. Right. And I think education is a big component of it, because you can't have, talent if you don't develop that talent. So anything in the educational space, anything in the mentoring space. So, we'd love to supply you with interns to learn, right? And to see what you do, which is you're the talent, to see what you do on the production side and the distribution side, right? Like on your partnerships with Rumble, understanding the dynamics of that, the economics of that. And how you build a company like this, I think it would be incredibly insightful for our children, the young adults in our community.
Amazing. So first of all, I think it's a great opportunity for us to plug that we are hiring. We and Rumble are hiring, so you can go to locals.com/jobs to see the jobs that we are offering in Miami.
I'm going to plug that too, by the way.
Pro, yeah. You hiring too?
We're going to plug that. Yeah, we love.
No, it is. It's
I
great.
put jobs in capital, and then
we are looking for good people to join. I like what you said about interns as well. We think that the world has changed completely. I don't think that necessarily you have to go to universities to succeed. And we see very successful creators that are coming from Miami. And I'm going to plug another creator that did something beautiful here, and why I think that Florida and Miami is a different place for me here in the United States. So we all saw Hurricane Ian, which was devastating and hurt a lot of people. And one of the creators, which is a Miami-based creator, Steve will do it, which you met him in the NASDAQ as well, donated a few RVs and generators for families from Fort Myers yesterday. And to see how the community is coming together, also with Miami, and I saw the work that you were doing, and how everyone are coming together, that's what's unique about this place. So yes, we are here. At the end of the day, we have a business to run, but we want to help everyone. And I think that's something beautiful about what you are creating here.
But the other thing is, embracing innovation is so important, because you have someone like Elon who's created the Starlink system. Now, it's obviously being used in Ukraine, right? But you think about democratizing internet access in Cuba. And you forget about that. Think about the US, right? We have an urban search and rescue team when there's a hurricane like that. We only had one Starlink system because it's new, right? And what we realized is everybody needed it. Yeah. So I asked my chief, I said, how many Starlink systems could you yourself use just for your urban search and rescue team? He said 15. He had 50 people running on one system because there was nothing like it. So I think that embracing new technology is creating solutions that can help people in ways that we didn't even anticipate.
How do we get Elon here? Well, what's he doing in Texas? Come on.
So
it's in the making.
So my pitch is, hopefully he buys Twitter, right? And if he does, my hope is that he brings Twitter, rebrands it, and brings it here, right? Like open source, the way he's been talking about it, right? And I think Miami is a great place for him to build a company like Twitter in the way that he's talked about it, a place that embraces freedom and liberty, and that really covets those things, because we've experienced the opposite of it. So that's my hope. I'll definitely be pitching him and hoping that he does that. I've talked to him before about the Boring Company, which is the underground company, and he said, look, if you guys are an adopter of it, certainly that's something we would look at, and we are, in discussions with them and doing some analysis to see whether it's feasible in Miami, given our subsoil.
Yeah, probably somewhat tricky here just because of proximity to water.
It's actually not so much water. I'll tell you this. So in Las Vegas, which is the only city right now where it's working, it's actually under the water table. People don't realize it. There is a water table in Las Vegas, and it's 18 feet. Here, the issue is the subsoil, which is limestone, right? And the density of the subsoil and what kind of geotechnical issues that creates. But we're going through that analysis, and hopefully we'll have something on that soon.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I think I can speak for a New York refugee and an LA refugee that we are very happy to be here in Miami.
Yes.
I'm happy to have you, brother.
We look forward to continuing all this.
Thank you for this.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for believing in us and for being evangelists of what's happening here.
Freedom, man.
It is. That's it. Simple.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about tech instead of nonstop yelling, check out our tech playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, check out our full episode playlist. They're right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.